Hello and welcome to the Midweek Mashed Tattie Sportscast. This is the Aftermash, episode 11, I want to say. My name's Mick. I'm joined, as always, by Harvey and Paul. How are we doing this evening, lads?
Fandabidosi.
Buenos dias, Michelle.
I'd love to reply, but I don't know the language. Speak English.
No habla español, which I think means I don't speak Spanish in Spanish.
So, I would like to kick things off today by just basically asking Harvey for a live reaction here.
Oh.
Old man Keith Lee returned on the latest episode of AEW Rampage. How do you feel?
Awesome.
You love about Keith Lee, man.
I think he's awesome. He's been out for far too long.
It's crazy to me that the like week you ask about it, like when's he coming back, and then just the following week is just randomly he's back. There was very little like in the booking or anything else that like would lead you to believe that he's going to be back soon. You know what I mean? Because they were all out of shot with.
Right.
I like that he's leaning into his Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Aye. Follow-up question to both of you this time. How do you feel about the fact that Keith Lee's Just for Men subscription has clearly expired?
I love it, man. I think it looks awesome. I think it's awesome. I'm not one of these folk that thinks you should try dye your hair if you're like going grey and all that. Just let it all hang out, man. I'm all about it. He's very unique looking. As a giant, big, hulking black guy with the greyest normal grey hair in the world. Like, it's not even like it's cool silvery or it's your old fashioned grey at the sides, wee bit of dark in there, wee bit of grey at the top, thinning, class. Love it. He's more of that.
Outstanding. I love that he's still got that kind of fade, like shaved in kind of fade thing going on as well. Like, there's no attempt to like just like shave it proper bald to hide it or grow it out and do something with like a granddad comb over sort of a deal. It's just
he's
like
just keeping it real, man.
This is just how it is.
Keeping it real.
So, what's on the books today, lads? What are we talking about?
What's on the books today?
Is there anything worth talking about in the wrestling while we're on it, or do we?
Well, I mean,
else we want to dive into?
It's a big weekend, like WWE and New Japan wise with wrestling. So there was a lot going on.
Indeed.
Especially WWE wise. See, they did the thing where they got Sami Zayn as over as they could be, and then decided that it's all right, we'll not let him win. Love it. Get old WWE.
What they did is they WWE'd it.
Aye. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. The crowd. Did you watch any of it, by the way? Like, as far as the actual highlights of that, the crowd were awesome. Wow, they love that boy. They really love that boy. They also did the thing that I said they should do. They should bring back his old theme music that everybody loves, and right enough, everybody loved it. It was like a karaoke.
I saw the crowd going mental for him. I did see that. I've not watched the match in full or seen the finish or anything, but
I believe it was a very good match that was totally overbooked in a lot of ways. Like they kind of over-egged it a wee tad for what I've kind of seen.
What I did see actually, I was down at Dumfries visiting family, and
that's right,
the other half's brother. I think I've mentioned before, like he's into WWE. He likes to watch the WWE. So he had it on this morning, and he was flitting between that and the Fitba. What did he have on? I believe he had
Man United,
Motherwell Hearts at the time, I think.
Oh, SPL game was the early game today.
That was the early game. So he was flitting between the two, and So he had the wrestling on. Roman Reigns was just getting into the ring.
Takes a long
Puts
time.
the football on. Basically forgets about the wrestling for about 10 minutes. Flicks back to the wrestling, and Sami Zayn is just that minute getting into the ring.
Because that's Roman
Like,
Reigns'
what the
entrance. It takes about 10 minutes, man. It's like watching a 16-wheeler lorry reverse, man. It's very slow and deliberate.
Oh Christ!
It's a very slow entrance.
I've just no patience for that.
I'm sure
Aye.
there was that statistic a few months ago where it was that Roman Reigns' entrance was longer than both the women's matches on SmackDown combined. The time it took him to walk to the ring was longer.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Aye, it is.
Aye, 2 of the matches combined. I remember that. Aye.
It's total
Fucking
overkill.
nuts.
Just a wee bit, man.
Aye, it's WWE.
Wow.
It's what they do with their kind of pomp and kind of pizzazz, if you will, isn't it? Really, like they like the kind of. They're very big on the entrance of a wrestler.
Mm.
So they are.
The
Especially
presentation.
Triple H gets such a stoner for it, and that's who's running the show. Like, he loves a fancy
Oh,
entrance.
he's Jesus Christ! His WrestleMania entrances are legendary for being
God, aye.
terrible.
Ridiculous.
They're overbooked themselves. Never mind his matches.
It's probably booked better in these matches as well. He couldn't do fuck all.
Oh God!
Cut about with that a 6-pack and do a high knee, then a pedigree. You had to answer.
What do you think is so obviously this is us like firmly in terms of WWE, this is us firmly in the run up to WrestleMania now.
Aye.
Obviously Cody Rhodes is in the mix, so it seems like it's like everything kind of points to Rhodes being the guy to now dethrone Roman Reigns. What do you think actually plays out here?
I think exactly that, mate. To be honest, he'll be over 1,000 days as the champion of WWE by then, which I think is probably the longest running championship reign in a modern era, WWE, and probably
Easily.
has been the long. I mean, that's effectively.
But it'll be the
maybe 3
longest
years
since
as
Bruno
champion.
Sammartino or something lately.
It literally will be, Mick. Like there, or at least Hulk Hogan. Like you're talking, like there's no been somebody. Oh, I'm sure
maybe one
Hogan
of
had a big
Hogan
long
runs.
reign. Aye, I'm sure.
He
I'm sure
had
he had a
one
big
that was
long
dead
one.
long. It could be, but
Aye.
certainly in the last 20 plus years, easily the
Oh,
longest.
definitely. Aye, definitely. Like so, he has. He's been a constant as a champion, and for better or for worse, it is what it is. Has it been great constantly? Well, no, because it's been 1,000 fucking days. It's a long time, but it's by and large worked. I think he definitely is a huge star now, Roman Reigns. But I think Cody Rhodes will be the person. Like and it's the big old lean into the Dusty Rhodes patter and all that, grandson of a plumber, etc., etc.
Yep.
Cody will do his fake
So-
cry thing where he just catches himself, but then he finishes his sentence, which he does in every promo.
Do we think they split the titles again and go back to having 2 champions? But perhaps Sami Zayn can get his hands on one of them, or does he just move on to tag team stuff?
I would imagine that's the next logical step, is that honourable face champion Cody says that he doesn't need 2 championships and keeps the world heavyweight title while giving up the universal title to be won by somebody else. So
Right.
you'll go back to having a champion on Raw and a champion on SmackDown. Because, I mean, it's a funny old thing with WWE because they've got 2 network television stations to satisfy. Like, they don't just have one kind of home. So these television stations obviously want the best deal for themselves. So not having a world champion on the USA network, which has been the home for WWE for years and years and years, like it's a bit of a slight to them, really. It kind of takes away the kind of headline kind of aspect of Raw.
Well, over
they
the
don't
last
have their
few years,
top of the card.
there's been a transition over the last few years from Raw being the premier show to SmackDown taking over.
Oh, that of course. That's
It seems to have
to do with Fox.
It seems to have
being the-
happened kind of naturally, but then also just with the way they've WWE leaned into it with where they positioned their biggest stars and the belts and stuff.
Well, it was literally down to the fact that Fox is obviously one of the biggest viewed television stations in America. So as far as audience share goes, like 3 million will watch SmackDown and under 2 million will watch Raw. So I think the way they see it is we've got to please the bigger network.
No.
But you would wonder if they have a championship split and then Reigns ends up with the belt anyway. I could totally see that.
Aye.
Because like I say, he's the biggest star. Or maybe he wants a break. Like he's at that kind of age where he's potentially the next kind of WWE wrestler that will go to Hollywood. Like, I mean, look at him, he is. He's a fucking stud. And he's big on his acting segments as Roman Reigns. There's all these big, long talking kind of stuff, and him looking dead thoughtful and threatening, and like, I think he's primed for it next. Anyway, sorry, I've totally took over the podcast here. Podcast. I went American there. What are the rest of you think?
Yeah, podcast, buddy.
The podcast.
I'll just be honest.
Yes.
Don't know and don't fucking care.
Fuck it. Who cares?
See, for me, like, there's a few guys that I've really enjoyed watching over the years in WWE and sort of in the indies and whatever else they've been before WWE. So now and again, I'll kind of check out what's happening, and I'll kind of keep an eye on things as I see them happening on Twitter and stuff like that. Sami Zayn's one of the guys that anytime I've ever seen him wrestle under any gimmick that he's had, he's just been top class. He's brilliant, man. Completely undervalued at every turn. So it has piqued my interest over the last couple of months as this has built up. And I'm no shocked in any way, but I'm disappointed to see that he's no had his moment. In WWE's eyes, I'm sure he's very much had his moment because he got his massive sort of homecoming. He got the massive pop as he enters on SmackDown. He got, crazy ovation as he comes out as the challenger, but comes out second for the match at the Elimination Chamber. So I'm sure in WWE's eyes they've did him justice, but it's just one of them things, man. Just one of the tropes now. Like they have somebody that just gets over naturally, and then they do nothing with them. So
yeah.
Oh well, I was going to say, like, the fans are more interested in, well, Sami Zayn is more over than Cody Rhodes.
Oh, definitely.
At this point, aye.
You know what I mean?
By a mile.
So, like, it would make sense if Sami was the one, but it's WWE, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and see, quite honestly, like, it would be somewhat forgivable if they went along the lines of Cody's the first guy to beat Roman, he gets both belts, but then he decides to allow the belts, as you say, Paul, to be sort of separated again, so he gives up the Universal title. Do some sort of match or tournament for that title, Sami wins that, so then he's got this triumph, and then somewhere down the line gets a match with Roman and beats Roman. Like, that would be a great storyline. In a way, he's got a belt. You could just about forgive them for no having him take the belt for Roman. However, I don't think they'll do that. Sami might get the belt, but if he gets the belt, he'll be a transitional champion. There's every chance he'll drop the belt to Roman Reigns.
Aye.
I mean,
I would imagine that anyway.
It's just never going to be satisfactory if you're a fan of Sami Zayn, I don't think.
That's I think even if you're a fan of Sami Zayn, if he's got a month reign and then he loses it to somebody big, that's still pretty awesome for a wee ginger-headed Syrian fella for Canada, like who was an indie darling, and he's 5'10", and he doesn't look like a WWE champion in any way, shape, or form. I think that's no bad going. Like, I think if you asked him, do you want a month and that's it, he would probably bite your hand off for it. Even with his massive crowd reaction, I think he gets his role, which is
he's very Canadian.
The big guys look great. Like,
he's very Canadian as Sami. He's far too nice. He'll just be happy that he's getting paid phenomenal money, and he gets his wee moment in the sun, as it were. That'll be, I'm sure, more than enough for him. But he deserves a lot more. He deserves better, in my eyes, personally.
I mean, but should he just? But you're saying he would be happy with that, but should he be happy with that though?
Well, at the end of the
Blood
day, it just
pressure
depends
and
what
things.
his goals are, and you know where he draws the line in terms of
Aye.
happiness and
Mhm.
what he takes with his job. But
Well,
like
that's true, but
the thing with pro wrestling is that it's booked, it's scripted. So the
true.
championships, they mean something in terms of a wrestler's own sort of brand and ability to put themselves out there to sort of media and stuff outside the wrestling, and to, you know, like make more money for merch and all that sort of side of things. It's a big thing for them to be a champion, but then the reality of it is it's no legit world titles, obviously.
Mhm.
So it just depends what, in terms of your question, Harvey, it depends what the likes of Sami Zayn in this situation, it depends what weight he personally puts on a title. Like, even if he does get a title in his hands, does he see that as that's his sort of defining moment, or like does he even believe that like that means that he's the number one guy? You know what I mean? I've heard that thrown about by the wrestlers, especially in WWE. That's like when you get the belt put on you, you're the number one guy, you're leading the promotion. Like, me and Paul seem to be in agreement here. If that does happen, that Sammy gets the belt, he's probably transitional champion.
Aye.
So he's
Mhm.
never
Yeah.
going to be that number one guy. He's just
Aye.
no cut for the mold that WWE look for the wrestlers to be cut
Mhm.
from. So I think, if he's been in WWE this long, putting as much effort into his character work as he has and into this particular storyline with the bloodline, I reckon he probably is very satisfied.
Oh, I would think so. It's been probably one of the most watchable things in wrestling TV in the past 12 months. Like, this bloodline story, it's been very, very fun to watch. I think for any wrestling fans, obviously Harvey, you're not that keen on it. You're kind of past the WWE sort of thing, but the numbers don't lie with it, man. Like, more people are watching it. A lot more people are watching WWE again. Like, they, in an era when wrestling television audiences are pretty much decreasing gradually year upon year, they've increased.
Mhm.
Like,
Mm.
it's bucking
I
a
mean,
trend. Like,
just when you say that, I've seen that last week. Last week's ratings were the lowest for AEW for they've had for a year and a half or something.
I think it's year upon year they're
Mhm.
down 20% or something like that. Aye,
Yeah.
which I
So
mean,
like that.
it's
Sorry.
I don't know, mate. Are you enjoying it now? I'm pretty bored with it. I'm not gonna lie. Really, genuinely, I haven't watched this week. I've watched YouTube clips.
Aye.
Like, I know there's a pay per
Um,
view coming up, but it's been pretty.
Aye, it's been pretty meh. Mhm.
Nah, is the honest take I've got for it, mate.
Aye. One thing I did find funny the other day was MJF's promo.
Oh, is this the one
when
he,
he was
he lifted for the Simpsons, basically?
well, I don't know. I've not watched Simpsons back in ages, but the one where he was talking about that he used to drive fast, drive hard, like drive recklessly, and that
He's
I was a speed
crashing the
demon.
motor and that.
Oh yeah,
And switching seats with the partner. Aye, that's been lifted for the
Aye.
Simpsons, by the way. That's the Simpsons plot
Right.
when Homer does that to Marge.
Right. Okay. Well,
He's ribbing the
what's
world.
funny about that is there's actually folk actually phoned
I complained.
the local, no, the local police department to say about this guy who's being thinged. They're like, what the fuck?
He's made himself guilty on national TV, forgetting that this is a pro wrestler who is.
I'm like, oh my god,
It's quite
Who
impressive.
the fuck really phones the fucking police? Somebody's like.
Did you see his latest one though? So that was like 2 weeks ago. So he's won this week.
Aye, that was like 2 weeks ago.
He's won this
No.
week. When he came out, or as he was coming out, Dynamite went to an ad break. Like, so,
Right.
like in America, like in, you know,
Aye.
places where you're getting it live through TV,
Mhm.
you're just getting ads. or picture, whatever the feck it was.
Aye.
For what places watching it on the likes of Fight, it's still running.
Good old Fight, aye.
So MJF did everything he could to rile up that audience and get as much heat on him as he possibly could in the couple of minutes that he had before it came back. And he dug into them. Like, he went off, man. There was a particular comment where so they were in Texas. I can't remember what part they were in for this week. I think it was San Antonio 2 weeks ago, I want to say. So I think it was like maybe El Paso. I don't know. Anyway, some part of Texas, close to the border. I think, a lot of sort of Spanish peoples.
El Paso sounds about right then.
So he went off, man. It's worth watching. There was this particular comment after he'd been running the ring, like slapping phones out of folks' horns and taking their drinks and flinging it in their faces, and like he was doing
that, actually.
every heel tactic in the book. Then gets in the ring and starts going on one, and then he says to them, he had a comment, I don't remember it word for word, but it was something along the lines of like, something about them bringing Wayne's to the show or something like that.
Right.
And then he was like, if this was anywhere else, they wouldn't be bought him. But of course, this is Texas. So like they couldn't. You would have bought. Like if this was like somewhere else, they would have been aborted. But of course, this is Texas. It was something like I can't think what the exact quote was, man. But like it was just like, holy fuck, like proper went for it, man. And then he made a point of saying
promo.
He made
It's quite funny.
Well, that's the thing, like.
Because of course Texas was one of the places that outlawed abortion, so he's fucking he's cutting pro-choice promos.
The big case, Roe v. Wade on it.
That shit.
But like he's like the only guy that could do that I can think of, man. And current form, like wild.
Brilliant.
And then he makes the point of saying like, settle down, like we're still an ad break or something like that. I can't remember what it is. But it's worth watching anyway. Fantastic, fantastic heel work, honestly.
Definitely worth a shout.
I mean, he's definitely grew on me. I remember when I wasn't sure about him, Paul. You were.
Oh, I've always been a big fan.
Banging on about him. I was like, but he's proved to be what you said. He's brilliant.
Oh, he's world class at getting a crowd's eye up. He is. They forget that it's all pretend when he's out there. Certainly,
aye.
He is. He's world class at it. What do you say?
Have you seen the AEW file for a new trademark?
No, I haven't seen that.
And
I've not. No.
And I think they filed it on the 15th.
4 days ago,
I believe.
Right?
It's the term is AEW Collision.
Right, okay.
Collision.
That does sound. That sounds like a TV show.
So,
I wonder what that means.
He's already. Tony Khan is he's supposed to be making a big.
Oh, this will be the
what
Tony Khan is
the
ready to make an announcement thing.
Aye, but that's probably Ring of Honor.
Do you know what my first instinct hearing that? My first thought hearing that is a future pay-per-view where you have a cross-promotion pay-per-view AEW
Collision.
Ring of Honor. Because Ring of Honor is going to have its own weekly show, so you'll see a lot less of Ring of Honor on AEW TV.
That's a good thing, by the way. By fuck has that been needed? That's been really needed.
It's just, it's great that it's happening, but it's a damn shame that it's not on TV or on a legit streaming service. You know what I mean? They're just out there in their own thing.
Mate, if it's good, then people will buy that and happily watch that week to week, especially if they actually put the effort in. Because see this bloated shite where there's two promotions in one show, I'm bored shitless. I'm not going to lie. I'm totally bored shitless.
There's
this
totally
champion, there's that champion, there's this champion, there's two champions here. Champions, belts, and Excalibur, talking fast as fuck to get everything out every bloody week, man. The commentator, where he does that terms and conditions style talking just to get through everything. Where maybe don't keep near children. Like, it's absolutely mental, and it is. It's long overdue. Fuck all the guys that are sitting at aim. Like, we talked about Keith Lee last week, Harvey. Miro's still. Where's he? Lance Archer. Where? Like, CM Punk. Fuck's sake. Who cares if you fill out with everybody? They clearly need people in places like.
But I mean, with CM Punk, he's can hold a grudge, can he?
Oh, he's a huffy bastard.
He's a fucking fanny.
Oh, I mean, he is, but he's quite clearly still very much into wrestling.
But,
he was at that New Japan show.
Course. Mm-hmm.
He was in the crowd watching it at the Battle in the Valley.
Yep.
But what you're saying there, Paul, I think is right. There's been too many. Like at first, I thought it was kind of cool, but then as times come on, it's a bit like. Fuck.
I used to slag WWE for the very same thing, for hoarding talent and no using them. And what is AEW now, if not hoarding talent?
Aye. So when this Ring of Honor comes on, and they're essentially their own entity, right? Like, move folk from here to there. Again, it slims the roster down a bit.
Yep.
Aye.
It needs it, mate.
And then you have more time to actually build storylines and let them play out on telly.
Aye.
Because you're not having to think of the other promotion that you have to.
Aye, it's not a total juggling act.
Do you know what I mean?
Because it feels like a juggling act. Aye. Fingers crossed it is, because but diet is in dire need of a refresh right now, AEW.
But has it been confirmed that it's just going to be the streaming?
Yes, there's an announcement being made. So it's going to be weekly on Thursday nights, if I remember. It'll be streamed. I don't know if it just becomes available on a Thursday night or if they're doing a live stream. That I don't know. I'd assume it'll be pre-taped.
And
it'll just be a Thursday night that it'll go out. I know they're doing it. Initially, they're doing it at Universal Studios. I don't know if it will then tour at any point. They might wait until they might do like 12 months of just base it in Universal Studios and then try and get a TV deal in 12 months' time and then take it on tour when they have a TV deal. I don't know. But the fact that they're doing the house shows, like we spoke about in the last episode, they're going to, over the next couple of months while they get all these different things in place, it's going to give them options that they didn't have before in terms of sort of logistical stuff. They're going to have like multiple setups in terms of rings and sets and all the things that they need to put a show, and they're going to need to have multiples of them to be able to ship them around the country effectively. And that sort of doing that sort of logistical sort of building and organising, getting systems in place, that's going to put them in a position where if they have a sort of, doesn't even need to be a big money deal, but if they have a good enough deal, TV deal, I mean, for Ring of Honor, then it's not going to take a lot for them to then take Ring of Honor on the road. And they can do it, like they can pick an arena that's big enough for a Ring of Honor show, and then for that week, they do their house shows in that area and there and whatever else they're doing, you know what I mean? So it's just like we're still in the infancy, the building stages at AEW, let alone this sort of revamped Ring of Honor. So it's just a case of wait and see. For the now, Thursdays on the Honor Club, which is like what, $10 a month.
$10 a month, though.
So like eight quid or something. I don't know if they're. Well, I don't know if it's like for like in the UK or if they're just going to make it 10 quid in the UK.
Probably be 10 quid, mate. I think probably 10 quid because of the back catalogue and all that.
Actually, I mentioned, I think in the chat to Harvey, I would 100% get Honor Club. I'd love to get Honor Club, but because I've already got Fight for AEW, it holds me back. You know what I mean? I don't really want to have two different subscriptions. If there was a way I could have both in one, like if they put AEW's weekly stuff on Honor Club, for example, even if the Honor Club was twice the price, I would get Honor Club. It's not really a financial thing. It's more just a stumbling block of like, I don't want to have to deal with two different apps, and I don't feel like I should have to. You know what I mean? It's quite annoying that way. But that's I suppose first world problems and all that.
Yeah.
But aye. So at this juncture, I will not be taking out a subscription for Honour Club. However, I do think it's great that Honour Club still exists and that Ring of Honour are going to have their own wee home on the internet, and they're not going to be sort of taking up time on AEW anymore. That's very much a good thing.
Very much a good thing. Here's a question for you both, by the way. How much are you missing rugby this week?
Lots.
Is it just me?
No.
I'm in a slightly different position because I've not been able to watch it through being working and that.
That's right.
But I'm kind of gutted that that there's nothing happening. Like, even though I wouldn't see it, I'm still like I'm like itching to like check what the results are and see if there's highlights up to watch and that sort of stuff.
So of course you missed the Wales game because you were where? Were you at Dingwall again?
I was in Dundee.
Oh, you were in Dundee this time, man.
I was working the Dundee United game versus Kelly, I believe.
Oh, right, the Scottish Cup game. Aye, God. Scottish fucking Cup.
Dundee.
Jesus. Kelly won. I was at that. I was at the Scottish Cup and last Saturday as well with Ollie. I took my wee boy to watch Ayr United versus Elgin. Yeah. And I'm not joking. I sent you. Harvey was buckle at the video I sent you. Harvey actually. To take a wee bit of the background here, anybody listening, I took my son to this Scottish Cup game. Ayr United, second in the Championship. Elgin City, bottom 3 in League 2, 2 divisions below. Thinking this will be a game where my son sees lots of goals for Ayr United. This should be an open goal. This should be fun. And stood there for 80 minutes, starting to get angry, starting to swear at what was on the park. Ayr doing 1-0. I'm like, nah, we need to go. Harvey texts, oh, Paul, what's going on with Ayr today? I'm here, Harvey. I'm fucking here. Sent a video from the stand and it's just bile getting thrown on the park verbally for the Somerset Road end. And I'm videoing with the wee man watching. I'm like, I'm getting this boy a Celtic talk when we leave here, man. I can't do this. I'm very anti-Old Firm, but I'm like, I can't put this wee man through this. This is bullshit. And then, of course, lo and behold, I wrote the wee man off. It's 1 each and into extra time. By the time I hit the bypass to go back up to Barhead, not even at Kilmarnock, it's 3-1 Ayr. And by the time I hit Kilmarnock, it's 4-1 Ayr in extra time. So it's us. It's me and the wee man. We are the curse. We can't go to home games. And that wee man get a season ticket for the rest of the season at Christmas. I'm scared to take him. I can't take this wee man back to the football. We'll get beat. I'm fed up with the wee man. It's not just that, right? We've been about 6 times this season, lads, and I'm no joking. Every game has been a draw. Every game.
Oh, no.
Every game. The wee man's saying things to me like, oh, it would be good to watch Ayr win for once, Dad.
No.
We're second the table, but this pair wee soul, a boy of mine, has yet to see them win. How is that possible? How is that possible? And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, mate. We'll get you a sausage roll. At least I got a sausage roll, Dad. And I'm thinking, oh, man. And that way I seen the fixture come up with Elgin and I thought, this is it. And I'm saying to him, this is it, Ollie. You're going to see, wait till Big Akinyemi gets a hold of these teachers and personal trainers. He's going to bar them. Fucking 80 minutes of just mind-numbingness. Oh, horrible.
We've totally switched gears here, but what do you think of their chances in the next round? It's I believe Falkirk they've got.
Falkirk away from home. I mean, Falkirk are really good for a League One team like that.
They're in good form right now, man.
Aye, they have the budget of a better Championship team and have done for a few years, but have been shite. But now have the ex-Wraith Rovers manager and John McGlynn. And still have all these boys that really should be playing in the Premier League. Like the boy Morrison, who ripped Darvel a new arsehole in the Scottish Cup game. It's a good young winger, man. Mm-hmm. I'm worried about it. I'm not going to lie. It would be great. See if we get to the semi-final, by the way. I've promised this boy we are going to Hampden. Because I'm like, you need to go to a big stadium, buddy.
Celtic at Hampden, maybe?
I don't care if they get leathered in the semi-final. I just want the wee man to see what a crowd looks like properly. Because you go to Somerset Park and as an adult, I'm like, I like the grittiness of these wee games. Like, I love the fact that you can hear everything. You can hear what the boys are shouting to one another on the park. But you should still see what a big stadium's like a proper unit of people, like a fucking... The way a stadium comes to life is one fucking voice, like... You know what I mean? He's not yourselves, boys. He's like fucking Celtic. He's definitely know that better than me. Like... Whereas it's 1,400 bloody people, a lot who are taking their boys there because, fuck it, I mean, it's fit, but at least, like... There's a lot of parents there with their kids like that, 100%. So... I really hope they win against Falkirk. Do I think they will? I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Fair.
No easy to predict.
Reminds me.
How did we go into that there?
We were talking about the Saturday.
Talking about rugby.
You said Scottish Cup. And then I just had to vent about watching my beloved Ayr United be shite when I'm there. But sorry.
Oh dear.
Rugby, sorry. So rugby, So you effectively, you missed the absolute performance of a lifetime, didn't you, Harvey?
So for that, I listened to the commentary. What did I miss? I missed probably the first 25, 30 minutes. I caught the last 10 minutes or so of the first half, and then got the rest of it on commentary on the radio.
Right.
So driving back for Dundee, listening to it on the radio. I was as Scotland started to turn it around early in not so much. Obviously, they were leading, but in terms of the performance, they were getting battered and they were on the back foot and they weren't doing what they should be doing. No battered, that's the wrong word. Bullied. They were getting bullied.
They certainly had a wee spell in the first half where Wales started to kind of find themselves a wee bit.
Yeah,
I was definitely.
So they were sort of turning that around early in the second half. They scored the first try. I'm coming down the motorway. For legal reasons, the speed limit.
Obviously.
And I'm fucking swerving about the places. I'm going, come on, shouting. No fun. Christ, it sounded amazing. I wish I could have watched it live. In fact, I wish I could have been there. Obviously, the company I work for, like, we do the LED systems, the pitch side. So a system that we had set up, and I was one of the crew setting that thing up, was at Murrayfield for the game. I was not there to take it. I was unfortunately taking a game in Dundee, and I missed it. But it was a different experience listening to it. I wish I'd seen it.
Certainly watching it, Harvey, like it was. I couldn't believe it. That second half, I'm just like, this isn't real. We're going to get another pandemic. Just wait to see. Something will spoil this. I don't believe this. It was so devastatingly effective. Like I've never seen that ever against Wales. Ever.
It was fucking brilliant.
Aye, it really was.
Aye.
You'll do more justice than me, Harvey. You know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to rugby. I'm just a football fan that likes rugby.
I'm not going to get too much into it because like specifics like last week, my brain. But everybody played amazing. Like everybody did the job. As you say, in periods of the game, 1 wee period or 2 wee periods of the game, we kind of like let our foot off the gas a bit, and then let them kind of get back into the game. And then we just, something happened. Like somebody just said something and we clicked back into gear and it was just phenomenal. And one person who stood out is Finn Russell.
Oh, God, aye.
Like watching him in that game, I was just like, that is the Finn Russell that we would love to see. Like when he's on point like that and he's just playing, it's like he's playing without any worries. He was just free. He was just doing his thing without a care in the world. Just there you go. This a wee kick pass there, a wee kick pass there. Here we go. Here's a miss. It was just brilliant to see, and that's why he is, if not the best, one of the best.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, by the way, boys. Right Jim Hamilton, the ex-Scotland player, Scotland captain, wasn't he, Jim Hamilton? I believe. Was he a captain?
I think so. I think he was a captain.
I think he was.
He's called Finn Russell the greatest Scottish player of all time. Do you agree with that?
It'd be hard to argue against it.
Is it high? Aye, sir. Aye. I mean, I can't think of anybody. It's
one of them things where he's easily the best player, and this is kind of saying something because we had a good team back, like late 90s, it would probably have been. But he's in our lifetimes, he's the best player. Quality-wise, he's the best player in our lifetimes, easily. And then, but the thing is, once you go back a bit further, I'm sure like there'll be old boys that, I've got fond memories of watching Scotland in the 70s or the 80s or whatever.
Aye.
And they might talk about, players for back then. But it's a bit like when folk talk about the greatest of all time and all that sort of pattern with the football, and you've got Pele and Maradona and whatever else through the generations. It's very hard. The game evolves, and it's very hard to compare players across that length of time.
Very true.
So I think certainly in the modern era, since the dawn of the Five Nations, and the kind of modern sort of format, the World Cup and all the rest of it. So basically, since the late 80s, early 90s, best Scottish player, hands down, I would say. I don't see how you can argue against that.
I don't think he's far off it, mate. I can't think of anything.
I don't think he's far off, but my problem is that he's too inconsistent. One, he's too inconsistent, and second, he does some fucking stupid thing.
I think you've just got to take that with him, though, haven't you? Like you've got to accept that.
But if he was more consistent,
he's not going to try the Sonny Bill Williams kind of scoot pass inside out. Like if he's more consistent, I think that'd be like.
I think
no. If he's more consistent, you still do that. But I'm saying that's not about consistency. That's about choices. Then, you know what I mean?
I think that it might be a better sort of turn of phrase to say that Finn Russell is the MVP of all time for Scottish rugby players. He is legitimately game changing. If he's on point and playing at his best,
exactly,
Scotland are capable of beating any team on the planet.
If
he has an off day, we can start to look very average. Like he has that big an impact on the team, even though the rest of the team at this point, for the most part, are legit world class. Like we have a really, really good team right now. He's the fucking difference maker, and there's never been another player that you can single out like that in Scotland. Countries like New Zealand have had standout player after standout player. Every generation has had one or two guys that are just ridiculous, and they can change a game in its head in an instant by doing something just phenomenal.
Usually New Zealand have about two or three of them in the same fucking team. It's really not fair.
Well, that's
Dan Carter,
true.
Sonny Bill Williams, Bowden Barrett all playing in the one team. It's fucking horrible. All these creative masters, like.
But Scotland just haven't had that. They've had really good players. They've had phenomenal teams. I couldn't name you a player like that. Gavin Hastings was great.
Gavin Hastings, by the way, Harvey. Aye, absolutely.
Chris Patterson was for a time probably the best kicker in the world.
He dragged
certainly in terms of consistency.
Games. Aye.
We won games that we shouldn't have because he was kicking penalties for fucking miles away.
You could say you watched that leg, man. It was sharp. Like that was a sharp leg. That was amazing.
Did either of them two that we've just mentioned ever have an impact in a game the way Finn Russell does? You know what I mean?
I think Hastings used to impact the game, but Chris Patterson not so much. But
Hastings could directly in. He could make the odd long bust and run. I'm sure against France in this is going back, by the way, boys. 1995, I think it was, against France, him running under the posts and Bill McLaren getting off his nut. I'm sure it's the only time I ever heard Bill McLaren above that very deliberate talking voice that he used to do. Even he's like, Gavin Hastings! It's Gavin Hastings! You know the way he always talked like that? Like pure talking very slowly and deliberately. He was. I love Bill McLaren. Couldn't beat him.
Oh man!
But aye, to say that he had that ability to change games, but no like Finn bloody Russell, man.
Like, no like Finn Russell. No, Hastings could change, but
he would change the game through an individual performance. But Finn Russell, he lifts the team.
Aye, he lifts the team. Aye,
he does one thing that impacts the next 5 minutes of play.
Aye, he can kill an opposition. Aye, definitely.
Well, there's that, and I think he's like the glue that holds the team together. I think as well.
And he's also the lube that separates it when he's
well,
when he's off it.
But when he's off it, he's got that ability to shaft them and all.
Be interesting to see against France away, like it will be.
Aye, it will be. It
played
will be
there for years. Like
it's make or break because France are know what they were last year for some reason. In fact, they'll know what they were a few months ago in like the fucking autumn test, man. I don't know what's happened, quite honestly.
Well, it's because France have. Anyway, no, it's fucking too much.
Well, dragging him into he can't help himself. He's like, catch myself.
No,
if like this is like Scotland are the on-form team.
Oh,
the only thing that France has going for them here is that it will a bit of a reputation. They're a formidable side, but the main thing is that they're at home. So Scotland are on the road. They've got to overcome that.
Aye.
The other problem is that they fucking embarrassed themselves against Ireland the last time out, so they have to atone for that. So it's not going to be.
There's that, I suppose.
Aye.
They big meaty bastards have got up front as well, man. That pack's fucking ginormous. One of them suspended actually. I think is it number 12 got suspended for a forearm. I think it was. One of their kind of. I mean, he's no French, put it that way. The boy, like he's Samoan or something like that. Like he looks very Samoan. Like he's a very Samoan looking Frenchman. I know we've also got a very Samoan looking Scotsman, but aye, they're down a man that
who
usually
incidentally I've found recently is legitimately Scottish in his blood.
I was arguing this with somebody. I believe it is. I was like, no. He's actually got a Scottish family. Up you. Just as long as they don't look at a video of Pierre Schumann talking, because that is a man doing an impression of a South African. He's that South African. It was like I think it was a Big Sandy they sent us in the group chat. It was Hamish Watson with the most posh English accent and Pierre Schumann like, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Like it was the most ridiculously South African accent for a South African. It's like a cartoon South African.
Oh Christ!
Aye,
Uni Antonio.
Aye, that's the man. Aye, that's the very guy. The very man.
Dangerous tackle.
Aye, he was cited after the game, I believe.
Yep. So he's banned for three games.
Could have done with that been DuPont, but never mind.
Well, aye.
That wee man made the tackle of his life, man. He's about 10 stone wet and stopped that Irish boy that's about 4 stone heavier than him by dragging him back.
Aye, dragging him back.
He's DuPont is fucking unreal.
He's a magician, man.
See the thing is, right, that this game coming up, France-Scotland, should be touted as like
a must-watch.
Like a must-watch, like two of the very best players of the last 10, 20 years, head-to-head, leading their teams. Creative geniuses in their own rights, like, but it's not going to be that. The chat is going to be, like, can Scotland keep up the form? Is this the week that they falter? Like, are France still shite? Have they figured it out? Are they good again? What's going on here? Like, that's the chat. It's no.
I feel like it's primed for Scotland though. The way because France play the blitz defence because of that fella they've got as their defence coach, like where they all rush up to the line dead quick. Is it Williams into this their coach? Their defence coach. The Baldy, to be honest. The Baldy, he used to be the Welsh defence coach for years and he was also the Wasps head coach. But he's the guy that's
sense based on how their players developed.
Aye, he's the guy that's kind of been seen as he came cross-code as well. He used to be a rugby league player, so he did like back in his day. But he's kind of seen as the guy who come up with this kind of blitz defence where obviously the ball comes out and they rush quick so that you can't make yardage. But that really suits the likes of Finn to totally play a wee bit of magic over the top, like.
Well, that's the thing.
And
like,
they're on their asses before you know it, like turning round.
The number one tactic for Finn Russell is like feints and dummies. Like he wants to sell you a watch. He wants to.
Aye.
He wants to convince you that he's doing one thing while he's doing 10 other things.
Aye.
That is 100% his game, man.
It's tailor made for him to rip the hole at them. Like it really is.
Sean Edwards.
Sean Edwards, that's the fella's name, aye.
English.
Aye, he's English, but he worked for Wales for about 10 years, man, with that bloody horrible defence that nobody could ever get bloody by, the Welsh defence. Like,
right. Soul suckers.
And soul sucking. Like, that is exactly what they are. It's no surprise that without him in the backroom team at Wales that they're now pretty easy to score tries against. Like
the Dementors, or whatever the fuck.
literally big sheep shagging Dementors. That's what they are. Bloody demoralise me for the best part of a decade watching bloody Scotland fall every time in front of a Welsh bloody line. So it's him that is in charge of this France pack effectively. So it would be good. It would be good for that as well to watch that type of tactic be extinguished by Scotland. It would show a great kind of turning of the corner, if you will. For sure.
I mean, do you know what I found interesting in that game? The Wales game, sorry. Was when Finn Russell kind of his wee dummy and then he did the back pass. To score the try, right? It cut to Thingy, head coach.
Gatland.
Jesus Christ.
Or Townsend.
Huh?
Townsend or Gatland.
Townsend. Jesus Christ. Couldn't mind his name there.
Good old Gregor.
And somebody else was like doing he did everybody else was excited and the guys tapping him like, did you see like he did the back pass and Townsend's just like, whatever.
He fucking hates him. He despises him.
He reluctantly plays him, doesn't he?
See, hell, because he's realised that without him, we can be terrible.
See,
like when he get left out of the tests the other day there, I was like, what the just get over it, man. You don't like him. It doesn't matter. Like he's one of the best players that we've got. Like it's a working relationship. Do you know what I mean?
I think the thing is he's no particularly coachable as Finn Russell.
No,
from what I gather.
He works in his own hemisphere, effectively,
He does his own thing. And it just so happens that his thing is fucking world class and we need him in our squad. Townsend, he just despises this. He wants him to come in and do what he's told and play the way he wants him to play. But if Finn Russell were willing to do that, he wouldn't be the player he is.
Exactly, we wouldn't have won some of the games that we wouldn't have won them 2 games. Like,
I'm sure if Townsend had his way, Finn Russell would have went to ground with the ball in 2 hands and they would have reset and went again and we probably wouldn't have got a try with it. We might have done 10 minutes later if we kept on it, but probably wouldn't have. We would end up getting turned over or getting away a penalty. Whereas Finn Russell does this reckless, crazy, fucking awkward pass that only a handful of players in the history of the game could get away with doing, and somehow he can do it and be luck. Probably more luck than skill. There was definitely skill involved, but more luck than skill. There was a fella there who had fast enough reactions to get his hands on that ball and score a try. Because I mean, like, the thing is, it happens so fast. Unless you're standing in the right place with your eyes focused in the right place, you're not going to see that ball coming out in time to react and catch it. You know what I mean? You need to be on it and in that moment. Like it was magic that he created. But the thing is, if that didn't come off, then Townsend would have been kind of justified in his dismay of like, fucking arsehole, what's he doing that for? But it just so happens that it was this kind of crazy world-beating try.
You can tell the plan definitely was Adam Hastings in the autumn test. So like, Like that was the plan. Like
Mm.
it's a shame the fella's injured, but I mean, fucking hell, it's saved the team.
Well,
He's took one for the team.
I
mean,
no, like off the back, like it's honestly, it just fucking frustrates. What I don't know what word.
Frustrates
Yeah.
you.
He's so frustrated. He can't say the word frustrated.
What did he even say? That frustrates me.
Just frustrates.
It was like that bit in Liar where Jim Carrey's trying to say the pen is red.
Oh crap! It just frustrates me when coaches and players let their differences get into the fucking games. Like, and you know, stupid. Like, you don't have to be pals. Like, as I said, it's a working relationship.
Yeah.
Just get on with it.
For the good of the team.
Like, I don't like you, you don't like me. If it's not about work, don't fucking talk to me. Simple as that. Boom. That's it. Boundaries are set. Done.
Yep.
Like, just get on with it, man. Like, and I was going off my nut during the test because obviously Finn Russell. I mean, I shared that with you, like, that he's left out because, but now it's proven. I mean, not that he needed to prove it because it's already been proven that he's the best man for the job.
Oh,
so
yeah,
why? Like, you know what I mean? So, but next week against France, make or break, and I'm so excited for it. But
same, mate.
Nervous at the same time.
Squeaky bum time, definitely.
Oh, I shite myself.
I think is it even more so because I think Ireland are playing Italy, aren't they?
Oh, they'll absolutely.
I believe so.
By the way, they're gonna rip.
I know it is because I'm sure England are away to Wales.
Aye, that's right. We England, Wales, and Cardiff.
Yeah,
and Ireland go to Italy. So
yes,
as much as I like to
Sunday,
Italy are going to die there.
Strong chance Ireland get the third bonus point. So
oh god,
we need to be winning. If we don't get the bonus point,
need to.
Cool, don't worry about it. Like,
we just need to win.
We can work with that, but we need to win. We need.
Aye.
This is the time to beat France. This is I would say the best chance. This is probably the only legit chance we've had to beat France in a long ass time. So we need it. We need it to happen because the thing is, we really want to be in a position where we can afford to have a shite game against Ireland and just be defensive and try and eke out a wee minuscule win or get the wee bonus point for staying close to them, sort of thing. But because I mean, the only chance we've got is England beating Ireland, which is very unlikely at this stage, but it could happen. Ireland might drop the ball against them.
I think England will beat them.
The Irish, you reckon?
Yes.
It would be quite a turnaround.
I reckon so.
For England, like to come back that way.
But I think they'll go to Wales. So they've got they obviously they beat Italy. That was a confidence booster. I think Wales. I think they'll beat them because Wales are just a mess.
They're in tattles now,
and
they're going to run.
And then that'll give them another boost. And then with France, I think they'll have a close game, but I can see them beating them, and then getting into against Ireland, they'll have their tails up. And because with Ireland, I've not been overly impressed with them.
You seem to be very critical.
I've seen them play better. I've got to be honest. I've seen them play better. I mean, again, I've only seen highlights. I've yet to watch a full game.
I just think they're really effective, lads. Like, they're really effective at what they do, the way they attack. Like, positionally, formationally. Like, they don't. There's none individually. I don't know if it's maybe the head coach's rugby league thing rubbing off, and that's what the way they move reminds me of a rugby league team. Like, it's perfect dovetailed kind of runs or other sport, man. Like, it reminds me of rugby league more than rugby union.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good observation or a shite one, but I'm putting it out there.
No, it's an observation nonetheless.
Aye, it's an observation, sir.
Aye.
Nah, I mean, I think what you're saying is right enough. Like, it's efficient running. It's no done to be wildly entertaining. It's not. It's a bit like a more attacking Wales. You know what I mean? That old way of Wales playing where it was just shite to watch and they're just sucking the life out of you. Ireland are doing a sort of, rather than being very defensive and sort of bullying, they're attacking just efficiently and without over extending themselves at any point. Just again and again, just, you know, refreshing the ball and getting the tries. And I don't know. I've seen more quality in them in the past. I've seen, you know, in an individual basis, but also as a team, they don't seem creative now, but then they're being efficient. So that's the trade off. That's the flip side. So they're getting the wins. See, the thing is, they could sort of just coast to a win in the Six Nations, but the thing with this year that's different for the last couple of years is that this is building into a World Cup.
Aye.
So, like, these teams, they want to be winning the Six Nations, of course they do, but what they want more is solidifying their squad. They want to know that they're ready for the World Cup in a few months. And I don't think Ireland are going to be a World Cup winning squad if they continue to do exactly what they're doing now.
Aye.
But, well, aye. For more reasons. If you watch the whole games, France, somebody actually said I sound better the other day, but I'm no. I like Ireland. Like a day, I like Ireland. Do you know what I mean?
Having to justify yourself.
France, aye. But again, like the scoreline isn't what, like, it's flattering on Ireland.
Oh, that's 2 weeks in the trot, though, isn't it?
France fucked up 3 tries, like, royally. And it wasn't because of Ireland doing it, and it was them themselves. So if you put them 3 tries in, if they didn't like mess themselves up, what would the score have been?
Aye.
You know what I mean? There's times where Ireland are, they're great going forward in that, but defensively, they've not been very good at all.
Mm-hmm.
And if it wasn't for France tripping themselves up, like, it would have been a different game. Well, do you know what I mean? I mean, literally one of the times, like, the forward, I don't know what he was doing. He literally just takes it. He's got the ball in one hand. If he passes it to his teammate, it's a try. But no, he passes it to an Ireland player that's standing right next to him, and he sees him, and I'm like, what the hell? And which Ireland then take, you know, just starts running, and they score a try for that. Like, so that, and I'm just like, nah, man. So when I need to see them actually stopping tries and defending their goal line rather than a team messing it up. And then I'll be convinced.
Fair play.
Okay.
Aye.
It's not going to be much next week when it's Italy, because I don't think it's going to be a much.
So I think
against us, we'll see, though.
I was going to say, I think when we play them, I think we'll see if they can defend or not. Well, depends if we play well or not as well.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, if we start strong, we can put them in the back foot, put them under pressure, and we'll see what they've got.
Aye.
Before we go any further with a rugby pod, as we're turning into here, Harvey's spinning. Pod. What's happening? What are you forgetting? What do you want to say, Harvey?
Oh, no, I think I know what you got to talk about.
I'm not going to talk about it. What I was going to say is we're running out of time here. Is there any news what to talk about?
That's also true.
I mean, I had a dream. I'm missing rugby that much. I had a dream.
Really?
We were all playing for Scotland.
Jesus.
Fuck it.
And
me in the team.
but no. So I don't know what the fuck was going on. It was amazing. Anyway, I was so we were playing. G-Pope was in and all, but for some reason we had each team. We were playing against England, by the way, and we won. But each team had a little person playing for them. So our little person was the number 10. Their little person was fullback. So
This
That is
type of
the
conversation is
maddest
starting to get
dream.
dangerous here.
That is
It
the
was
maddest dream.
brilliant.
What the hell?
I don't know. Aye.
Were you like, did you eat a block of cheese before you went to bed or something? Like, what's the
Well,
deal?
that's what I was
Sitting eating a tub of cottage cheese, man. I thought it was a yogurt.
man.
Filing into it.
But we won, so.
Oh, that's good. Ah,
It was just
we mean
That's
to
the main
that is
thing about
impressive.
that dream, aye.
Aye.
I'm not left with any questions or anything. Like, I'm
No.
quite satisfied that we won in the end, and I've got no need to ask about.
I mean, my main question is how I played. Like, I mean, how did I survive in a team? I remember the Sevens tournament we all played
you
in for
did.
Kilmarnock College. I come off the part and Matt, you the first thing you said to me was like, you know what you reminded me of there, Paul? And I'm like, what? One of the wee yappy dogs that just runs about yapping at everything. It doesn't really do very much. He doesn't really do very much. And that's exactly how I felt. I was just running about much too late, trying to tackle and getting fucking nowhere. It's the way. And I don't even know if Matt remembers it, but it was the nice way he said it. With it's like, I better not hurt his feelings when I say this, so I'll say it while I'm laughing.
It sounds like a classic backhanded compliment.
Couldn't help but I was like, that's pretty much me, man.
Good.
You're like, why are they wee happy dogs that just runs about?
Put the pressure on.
I was
Christ.
pure shite.
Oh.
Full of energy.
I was
Full of
willing.
energy.
I was willing, but I wasn't very able. Definitely not very able.
God.
Much like Harvey's number 10
lovely.
last night in the dream. Pure still.
Did you?
Can't imagine it'd be much yes in a fucking game of folk side.
Were you dreaming? Were you dreaming long enough to catch you get man of the match?
No.
Didn't quite make it to the man of the match.
But our number 10, he was actually a good kicker.
Fucking hell.
Good placement kicker. He put a couple of balls in the corner that we ran onto and scored a try. So I mean, there's that.
What a dream, man.
I remember having an argument with him because he was like,
Oh, my
"We're going for the 3 points," and I was like, "No, we're 5 minutes into the game because we scored a try and we missed the kick, right? And they scored 2 pens, right? So it was 6-5, and I'm arguing like, "No, we need to go for it. It's so early in the game, but we don't need to kick."
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And then something happened, like he went to kick it, but then it did go through, but it got clawed back for something. So then I was standing next to him and I was like, kick it in the corner, because look, they're all over here. And he fucking kicked it right in the corner and somebody just ran onto it to score the try. It was lovely.
Obviously, yous are both aware of the Joe Rogan Experience, right?
Yes.
Joe Rogan's podcast.
Aye.
I don't know if you know, on YouTube, on the official GRE channel, they work with a guy called Polytoon, right? That's like his kind of, I don't know, internet name or whatever. He's a guy that does animation, right?
Right.
So
I know
every now
what
and
you
again,
mean.
they put out these hilarious wee animated clips, and it's basically audio clipped for podcast episodes, and then this guy animates it, so you see them sitting around the table doing the podcast, and then it'll cut away to whatever hilarious
The
thing has been
story.
talked about.
Aye.
At some
Mhm.
point in time, I don't care if it's in the next few days or in 20 years' time, I need somebody to hear this and to animate
And
that last
Harvey's
5
dream.
minutes. That will be the best thing that's ever been on the internet.
I know exactly what you mean, by the way. I know exactly what you mean. I've just looked it up. I've seen some of them before. God almighty. Aye, Harvey's dream would be God tier. That would be God tier to watch that animated out. Harvey and this wee number 10 arguing about the place kicking. Christ almighty. Oh, wet man. Outstanding.
Right, I don't think we're going to get a better note to finish this podcast.
No,
though.
that's... Aye, go out in a high, mate. going to hang.
If you've
Sweet
listened,
Jesus.
thank you very much. It has been an absolute pleasure tonight. I hope it's been as good to listen to as it has been to fucking record, man. Jesus. Oh, Christ. I've been Mike. They've been Harvey and Paul. We'll see you again soon. Cheery bye, driver.
That's our driver.
Bye, guys. Fucking hell.